Hey everyone, welcome to the Fin Factor post-game live edition. This is the post-game for round 3, game 2. The San Jose Sharks have fallen to the St. Louis Blues by a score of 4-2, unfortunately.
Boo.
Boo. I should say that the Blues beat Logan Couture tonight.
Right.
Because Logan showed up.
He was the only one, pretty
Well,
much.
he was on the scoreboard, we'll put it that way. I don't want to sell everybody else short, but he had played one heck of a game. He was all over the ice. He was playing really well offensively and defensively.
He did.
And just nobody else showed up on the score sheet.
Oh, his shorthanded goal was literally himself because he blocked the shot and then took the puck all the way down and scored.
Good defensive effort, good offensive effort, and he did it shorthanded.
And even his second goal was Timo kind of stripping the puck, I think, and then finding him on the stretch pass, and he got in there. So
yeah,
Timo, I guess, kind of did a little bit.
A little.
He had 5 hits tonight, too.
Okay,
he did pretty well. But yeah.
Nice. Well, we are here, ready to take your comments and your questions. Super Key Grip Joe, I think, is either not coming or will be late. So Aaron has laptop on lap. So go ahead, send in all your comments and your questions, and make that noise a lot tonight. That'd be great. And we'll be ready for you guys. Good?
Good.
Cool. We had how many waiting?
Right now we got 38 watching.
38 watching. Okay, cool. Hey, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Awesome stuff. So that first goal, St. Louis Blues actually took a little bit of notes this time. To make sure
look at you.
Because,
so organized and everything.
So, no, because I forget stuff. So let's see. Oh, yeah. This was when they allowed one of the players from the Blues, I don't remember his name, walked straight in to in the slot there. Nobody really picked him up. There was someone, I think it was Couture, was kind of behind him. Couldn't quite get to him. And then I think Bernsey was standing in front of the net, and whoever the partner was guarding somebody else at the net, and so dude had the puck and just kind of walked right in, shot it over, I believe, high glove on Jonesy there. So kind of a tough one there to take because you'd like to get a body on a guy as he's down in the low slot there. You'd think, or not low, but he was down the slot, and you'd like to be able to take that opportunity away. That is a very high danger chance, very high danger area, and he was unguarded, unfortunately. So that was the first Blues goal.
He sniped that thing. I mean, he just beat him glove side.
Ripped it, yeah.
He knew exactly where he was going to shoot that puck, and he just ripped it right by Jonesy. So it's just you can't give up those chances, those high danger chances, and they're going to bury him. Jaden Schwartz, right?
I think it was Schwartz, actually. Now I think about it.
He's a pretty deadly snipe.
Yeah.
So, you just can't do that.
Then the second Blues goal came from the point, kind of like center ice at the point, though. I believe it was Dunn, his last name. So he wrists it in, or I don't know if he wrists it or not, but he fires it in from the point, and it goes right to the net, and Martin Jones is screened, and I can't remember the guy's name, fourth line guy, I believe, sitting in front of Martin Jones, can't see a thing. I think it was Blay. Yeah, I think his last name was Blay. He standing in front of the net there. Jonesy couldn't see a thing. Shot goes right in. So another good way that we've talked about to put the puck in the net is get in front of the goaltender's eyes, can't see anything. It's probably going to go in. So that's exactly what the Blues did in that second goal there. Unfortunately, they go up 2-0, and things are looking kind of bleak. That's when Logan Couture strikes.
I mean, those goals were pretty quick together, too.
Yeah.
Their second goal and then Couture's 2 goals were all within 3 minutes of each other. So good on the Sharks, or good on Couture
Logan
for bringing the Sharks back and tying the game. And I think we just talked about his goals already, but I thought he stepped up when nobody else really did tonight. I mean, just looking across the board of all the stats, it's not looking good. So so enough about Couture. Oh, one thing about Couture is he was 83% in the faceoff circle. That's insane.
Amazing.
I don't have the numbers of how many, just that's the percentage, so that's crazy. So good on him tonight. And Gaudreau's the other one at 57%, which is pretty good. He's a little limited. Yeah, but still, he's winning more than he's losing, so that's a good thing. So that continues, and overall the team was 57 versus 43, so 57% for the Sharks. That trend should help the Sharks, at least. Yeah. And they were talking about it. It's funny, as O'Reilly is supposed to be their top faceoff guy,
right? And
he was getting beat against Dallas, and he was kind of complaining a little bit.
Okay.
Now he's not complaining, but and maybe that's not the right word, but. Coming up with excuses. How about that?
Okay, that's
fine. And then come into this series, and he's still not doing well. He's let me look at what he was tonight.
Okay.
O'Reilly was 33% in the faceoff circle. He was probably against Couture most of the night.
Yeah. Okay.
But he was saying, he was talking about before the game. Who's he up against? They was talking about Hurdle.
Yeah.
And how elite Hurdle was, and he was hand-eye coordination and all that stuff. So. O'Reilly, the top faceoff man, is not winning first. So I think in the long run, that's going to help the Sharks if they continue that going on.
Yeah, anytime you can start with the puck, we've talked about this previously. Anytime you can start with the puck, it's a good thing. And the nice thing about the Sharks starting with the puck, again, when you win a faceoff, it's generally going back towards your defenseman, or even if your winger wins the draw or wins the puck, they usually kick it back to the defense to kind of get everything going there. So nice that the Sharks have two very skilled, highly offensive defensemen back there that are able to move the puck up. So if we do win that draw, they're going to be either coming from the defensive zone and working their way up, or they'll have possession in the offensive zone at the point, which is generally, we see a lot of shots coming from the Brent Burns office, if you will, at that point, right? He just risks them all in from there. So, it's going to bode well, I think. Tonight, not the Sharks' night, obviously. A lot of things just, I don't know, it was weird. They just couldn't seem to get sustained pressure going at a lot of points in the game.
Well, there was a big stretch from the end of the second going into the third where they didn't even have a shot on goal. They were just getting outplayed, out-hustled. So it's kind of almost the flip-flop of Game 1, where the Sharks seem to be bouncing and jumping all over St. Louis, minus the hits. St. Louis was trying to hit and establish their hit game, but the Sharks were all over the Blues in Game 1. And in Game 2, not that the Blues were all over the Sharks, but I think that they contained them well enough that the Sharks didn't look as dangerous as they could have been. And let's talk about that third line, that Thornton line, because they had a bad night tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, Thornton was a -3, and he got torched on that third goal.
Yeah.
He was at the end of his shift.
Yeah.
He was tired. His legs were tired. He was skating pretty hard, but he still got burned.
Sure.
And he's been burned, I think, in the last couple games, going even back to the Colorado series, where he is just looking, I hate to say it, but he's looking slow. And in my eyes, I go, wow, if Joe is like this for the rest of the playoffs, I don't know if he's dealing with an injury or something, but this could be the last of Joe. Like, I could see him retiring after the season just because he's not going to be able to do a full season of that and keep up.
Yeah,
right?
And that's fair enough. I think, again, what they had shown was, Jumbo was really chugging his legs throughout the beginning of that shift. He was going from one side of the ice to the other, trying to pick off passes and whatnot, pressure in the offensive zone, his offensive zone. I think he was just kind of at the end of his shift. He was gassed, and he actually skated up to Bortuzzo to try to challenge him for when he had the puck on his stick, and kind of made a lunge at it. Bortuzzo makes a pass, and as soon as he makes the pass, he takes off. So not only has Jumbo got the momentum going towards Bortuzzo, now he has to start up again, and then try to go and beat Bortuzzo back towards the net, and that's just not going to happen, right? I don't care who you are. If your momentum's going the wrong way and somebody's got a step on you already, then you have to stop and start over again and make your way back. You're probably getting burned. So, it was basically at the end of his shift. He was tired. I hate to blame him for it, but, I mean, that's his guy. It's just unfortunate that he was at the end of his shift there, so he was out of gas.
I mean, LeBanc was also -3 tonight.
Yeah.
Did I put 2? No, he was -3. Jumbo was -2. LeBanc was -3. LeBanc's got to be better. And no goals on the power play for either team. It's kind of funky because this is why the plus-minus stats funky. You can't really go by just a plus-minus. Sure. When you're -3, however, that's not good. Yeah. But, I mean, nobody on St. Louis. Edmonton was a +2 and Bortuzzo was a +2. Everyone else is a +1, which is just kind of funky. And on the Sharks, Couture is a +1. Hurdle's even. Couture's a +1. And that's it. Everyone's a minus or 0 or even. So it's just a weird game, 4-2. Plus the Sharks, Couture had a unassisted goal. Yeah. And then the second goal only had an assist from Timo, and that's it. So there weren't a lot of points going around for anybody.
Yeah, so on the score sheet, really the only thing on the score sheet was Logan with 2 goals and Timo with 1 assist. Everybody else was nothing.
Right. That just explains the game right there. Yeah. Nobody's really stepping up and doing much. Sharks had their chances, and Bennington played well, and Sharks kind of, I feel like they do that every now and then. They go up and down where it seems like they're scoring at ease, and then the next game they just look like they used up all their goals and they can't score anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to take anything away from Bennington or the St. Louis Blues as a team, right? They played well, and Bennington stepped up and made those saves where he needed to make the saves. Again, I don't think that the Sharks are doing enough to try to get between his ears. I know you said you want to have live rent-free inside of his head. Well, they're not doing that right now. So that's what the Sharks kind of need to do and need to get back to is kind of throwing this guy off his game. Now, he's got all the mechanics, like we said, but he's a young guy. And anytime you can get into the head of one of those younger players, that's one of the better ways to get them off of their mechanics. If you've got them confident in doing what they're doing out there, look at Colorado series we talked about with Girard and Makar, right, on the blue line there. They just had free roam, and they were doing anything and everything that they wanted. The Sharks got out of that series, but it took them 7 games. And it could have took them maybe 5 or 6 had they gotten between those guys' heads, right? Or in their heads, rather. So kind of the same thing, I think, with Binnington. I mean, he's a solid goaltender. Everybody talks about he's got ice in his veins, but you know what? He's a young guy. You're going to be able to throw him off his game. You just got to figure out how. And the Sharks did not do that tonight. I will say this, though. The Sharks have won Game 1 and lost Game 2 in every series so far. This is the winning formula, right? They come out of it. So
far. I don't want to take your chances, but
look on the bright side.
It'll be interesting to see how they come out in Game 3.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to have to win in St. Louis. Hopefully, they could split the series, and then it's a best of 3.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with the best of 3. I would take the Sharks over the Blues.
And if you frequented the channel, you know what I'm about to say here. If you're not, then you'll be hearing this for the first time. When the Sharks they win their first home game, do I feel like we're ahead? No, I feel like that's what the Sharks are supposed to do, right? I'm kind of expecting that the home teams are going to win their games. When the Sharks lost Game 2 in both of the other series, I'm saying the same thing that I'm saying now against St. Louis. I don't feel like we're even. I feel like the Sharks are a little bit behind. Because, again, the expectation is that the home team is probably going to take their games, right? So we go back to St. Louis. The expectation would be that St. Louis wins both of their games. Now, the Sharks are going to have to steal one, like Aaron just said. At some point, they're going to have to steal a game in St. Louis. But until that happens, yeah, I feel like the Sharks are basically behind, right? So even if we win Game 3 and it's 2-1, by the numbers, yes, we're ahead in the series, if that's the case, if that's what happens. But I don't feel like we're ahead. I feel like we're back to even because I would expect that the St. Louis Blues take Game 4. That's kind of the way I've been seeing it.
Zach Croft's asking what your thoughts are on Sorensen.
Ugh. I didn't mean to make that noise, but it's just I haven't seen enough out of him, and I know that Joe likes playing with them, and I know that he complements that line fairly well, and he has complemented that line throughout the season. Tonight, I didn't really see it. I see him getting knocked down a lot. He's like 110 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, he's a tiny guy.
But
you sneeze on him, he's
okay, so you've got a guy who's always hitting the ice. You got another guy who's 39 years old, 2 reconstructed knees, and is not the most fleet of foot. And then you've got Kevin LeBanc, who's basically going to be out there trying to do it himself when the other two aren't able to help him out, right? So it's just...
I don't think it's that bad.
No, I don't think it's that bad. No, I don't think it's that. That wasn't very dramatic. Come on. There's a -2 and a -3 that you just called out too, right? So that line hasn't been clicking. They haven't been doing well. Now, do I think it's all on one player or the other on that line? No, but I think that there's another player that could maybe take Sorensen's spot that would maybe do better. I'd like to see maybe Donskoy get inserted, not necessarily alongside Joe, but maybe Donskoy plays up instead of like Nyquist and put Nyquist with Joe and
I thought Donskoy looked really good tonight.
Donskoy was chugging.
Maybe we do see that. I think he's playing for more ice time. And he did get more ice time tonight. He got over 10 minutes.
And to his credit, DeBoer did say the only reason Donskoy is in right now is because Haley did get injured. Haley's back and healthy, but Donskoy's been shining.
It's a kick in the rear.
We can't take him out.
Right.
So otherwise, if Donskoy wasn't playing too well right now, you'd see Haley back in the lineup. So he's basically played his way back into the roster.
Thank you. $5 from Edgar Velos.
Oh, thank you.
Velos. Hello, guys. Currently watching you guys from Puerto Vallarta. Watch the game at my hotel bar. Cheers. Go Sharks. I'm from Anaheim. Glad you're not a Ducks fan. Thanks for watching. That's awesome.
Puerto Vallarta, do you have the all-inclusive if you're at the bar? Because that is phenomenal. Yeah, we went to Dreams, I think, hotel or something like that in Puerto. Oh man, it was awesome. Yeah, really, really good. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
No, that was it.
That's all I had. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. Any other comment you wanted to bring up there? Or?
Plenty of comments.
Okay,
so,
let's hit them up. Unless you want to talk about Sorensen too. Like, did you want to throw something in there?
He's kind of like he's the speed on the line.
Yeah.
He's the guy that kind of goes into the corners and tries to dig out the puck a little bit, give a little bit more space and time to Jumbo. To me, it's like Jumbo goes behind the net and they try and feed him to get the puck behind the net. Like they kind of go, they almost like a dump and chase. And someone had mentioned earlier, and I missed the comment or I missed who said it, but Binnington did a really good job of all those dump and chase, going behind the net and stopping the puck and playing it to his defenseman.
Yeah.
So the Sharks really need to get that puck in a little bit harder, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Or maybe just throw it on the net and look for a rebound instead of a dump in.
I would go either a little bit harder and make him have to get out faster, or go softer so that the puck's trickling to him, right? And he has to make that decision whether or not he wants to leave the net. or just put it in the corner where it's outside the trapezoid. He can't go get it.
Or going higher along the glass because that's harder to stop versus along the boards down low.
Yeah. Basically make it more difficult for him to handle the puck. We saw him handle the puck really well tonight, like extremely well tonight. I mean, we saw him clear the puck by himself. He just lifted the puck up and out of the zone. I think it was like a backhanded shot too, if there is such a thing for a goaltender. But yeah, no, he just lifted that puck straight up and out. It was a phenomenal job by Binnington in terms of the puck control tonight. So yeah, very nice.
Blues have only lost twice on the road, so Sharks have to take advantage of the next 2 games. That's from Nathaniel Arias.
Okay.
Colorado.
Hi, Nathaniel.
And whoops. Here's another $2.99 from Anthony Leal, but no comment.
Oh.
So thanks for the $2.99, and let me know if you have a comment, and I'll say it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, guys.
It's probably going to go cha-ching in a second.
All right, that's cool. Anything and everything that you guys put into the Super Chat goes straight back into the show, so we do thank you for that.
Luke said earlier, our bottom 2 lines are losing and our top 6 are playing well. I don't agree. I think that the bottom line, I think the 4th line, to me, every time they're on the ice, seem to overwhelm the Blues. They seem to get sustained pressure in the offensive zone. Mm-hmm. They look dangerous, and that's partially because of Donskoy, right? Yeah. He's a very good possessor of the puck, and it's hard to get when you're playing that 4th line is playing against their probably 4th line, maybe their 3rd line. They don't seem to have an answer for him, and unfortunately, they haven't turned it into any goals per se, but they're getting their chances, and it's looking a lot better, which is nice because that gives DeBoer a little trust in them to put him on the ice a little bit longer than he probably would if they weren't being as good in the offensive zone.
Yeah, and one of the things we talked about was the depth in the team and the ability to have a line not play so well and other lines can pick up the slack, right? Tonight, I was not at all impressed really with Evander Kane. Pavs kind of didn't really do anything for me. Hertl did his best, I think, but even then, he was a ghost on the score sheet as well.
Did you see Timo's at the end? He tipped the puck on goal. The puck bounced back to him in midair, and he swatted at it and hit it. And Binnington made the save. I don't know if you'd say made the save, but he just kind of hit him. Like Binnington, the tip hit him in the mask, and it kind of stunned him. He got pushed back a little bit, and then Meyer swatted it out of midair, and it hit him as he was kind of going like this. It hit him right kind of under the arm. If he was just a little bit lower, it would have gone in, and it would have been a goal, and it would have made it 4-3 with a minute and change left.
Sure, yeah.
But still, it was just like the Sharks' puck luck was just not there tonight. Yeah. I mean, that's not the whole story, but that's part of it is they just couldn't get that luck.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, yeah, well, like we talked about, right, there's, skill and health and luck. Those are the 3 things that we need. And I think that depth really, again, if I go back to that, where we had that one line that was really clicking, and by one line I mean one player, Logan, right?
Yeah.
He was doing pretty much everything tonight. He was doing a great job on both sides of the puck. He was playing phenomenal. Other than that, it didn't look like the other lines were really engaged and doing as well as they could. Now, we can see this 2 ways. One, if, like we said, one line having a sag and the other line kind of picks it up. Well, if 3 of your lines, well, 2 of your lines really, the second and third lines, if you call them that, maybe not doing so hot. The 4th line was playing great, I thought, because of, again, Donskoy being out there. And then, of course, Logan Couture and his line played well. That was just not enough to lift the other 2 lines up and out of the funk that they were in, right? So you can look at this in a good light, though. We know that those 2 lines are much better than what we saw tonight. And if that's the effort that we got tonight and they're kind of in a sag and in a lull, hopefully they get pulled out of that for the next game and they get back to playing the way that they can play. Because what we saw tonight is not the way that they can play. This is not the peak for either of those lines, right? We've seen much better out of those guys. And I hope that we get a bounce back. Now, if we do happen to get a bounce back and Logan Couture's line is in the lull, well, that'd be great to have those 2 lines kind of picking up the slack.
Rolling.
Right. So where we may lose out with one combination, we come back with the other combinations. Right. But it's, of course, contingent on those other lines figuring it out, stepping up, playing as well as we know that they can.
Thank you, Dylan Gladstone. Another $2.
Oh, thank you.
Love your coverage, boys. Longtime fan. Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
Jason Hillier asked, do we have an update on Hertl? Vlasic shot a puck and I'm late in the 3rd period.
Hit him in the cheek area, I think.
Yeah, Hertl just came back. Hertl came back out, and in the interview he said that he was fine, no damage done.
Yeah.
So
I think Meyer got hit or something happened with Meyer. He skated off too, but I don't know if he came back or not. Yeah, I heard it on the radio because I was on my way over here, so I couldn't see what happened. Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that they're tired. I mean, it could be. I mean, it's a 7-game series. We never expect a sweep, ever, really. I mean, if it happens, it's
great,
pretty unreal and pretty cool. But I never expect a sweep. It's unfortunate that they lost a home game, but that is their MO right now in this playoffs, is losing game 2 after winning game 1. So I'm excited to see what the Sharks are going to do when they bounce back in St. Louis, and hopefully they split. And now what if they do what they did in Colorado? Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they do the same thing here. Maybe they do win, loss, loss, win. But it's either way, you're in the same spot. Like, to me, you just kind of, as we do in the show, macro view, you kind of have to look. So you can't get too high on the highs and low on the lows.
See, and again, for me, game 4, right? Game 4 is the most pivotal game in any 7-game series, because right now we're 1-1. If the Blues win game 3, that puts them up 2-1. Game 4 is then either we even the series back up, or now you're down 3-1 and it's dire, right? Or I'll flip it around the other way. If the Sharks happen to win game 3, that's great, 2-1. Do I feel like we're ahead? A little bit, but I'm expecting the Blues to win game 4, right? I'm expecting them to win a game at home. So if that's the case, then we're back to even. And again, being up 2-1, that's how I feel. Right? We would be even, right, at that point. But if we happen to win both games in St. Louis, being up 3-1, then again, it's dire. So for me, game 4 is the absolute most pivotal game of any 7-game series. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to freak out until game 4, essentially. So even if the Blues win game 3, it sucks, because you want to feel like you're numbers wise in terms of the series, you want to feel like you're in it more so than you're behind. But until game 4 hits, it is what it is. We have to just wait and see.
Thoughts on how Pete DeBoer called Couture the Marc-Eduard Vlasic of forwards? Not a lot of recognition in the awards. I think that's pretty spot on there. I think Couture does a lot of things well, and he's a good two-way forward. He's not just offense. He's not just defense. He's a good mixture of both. I think better than Vlasic in that way. I think Vlasic's more defensive. Couture's a little more offensive. So, it makes sense for their respective positions. Yeah. I think Couture works really hard. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Players Tribune, but Couture's written 2 articles, as far as I know, at least 2, where he breaks down kind of like the centers that he covers defensively. And there's one in there on his birthday. He got burned a couple years ago on his birthday by Datsuk. And he talks about it and laughs about it. And he has the GIF in there, too, where Datsuk just dances around him and Couture falls flat on his butt. And everyone's just like, ooh.
And the tweet that Logan wrote was, really, man, on my birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was pretty good. But they're really good breakdowns of, he studies film. He studies the other team, and he knows what their weaknesses are, and it tries to exploit them as best as he can. And he's a real good study of the game, if you will. So he's a very elite forward, I think, one of the best two-way forwards who does not get a lot of recognition, but he does have a big offensive punch, as we've seen tonight. So a future captain of the San Jose Sharks right here, maybe even next season.
Yeah, I mean, and I know that he doesn't get the recognition he deserves, because even I don't seem to give him the recognition he deserves when I'm, like during the regular season and whatnot. I feel like Logan is kind of one of those guys that he doesn't really take the spotlight. He just kind of is there, and he just plays, and you see him get a goal now and then, but then all of a sudden you tally up all the goals and the points that he's got, and you're going, whoa, where'd this guy come from, right? So I don't know, he's really under the radar, but he's just a good, consistent player. Now, we also said he's good on the offensive side, he's good on the defensive side, he's got a good mixture of both. I think that's inaccurate. I think he's great offensively. I think he's great defensively, and to put that together into one player is insane. This guy is, he really is, like, great on both sides. He's not just like, he's capable on both sides. No, he's phenomenal. So, I don't know. I think we've got one of the best, if not the best, two-way guy in the league in Logan Couture. And another guy comes to mind is, like a Patrice Bergeron. He's very talented offensively, and he's very good on the puck defensively as well. So, I mean, maybe like a...
It's going to be interesting seeing those two together if they play in the finals, right?
We'll see, yeah. But, I mean, that's a whole other thing that Boston is
right.
Yeah. But anyway, no, I'm really happy that we have Logan Couture on the team. He's such a phenomenal talent, and I mean, where would we be right now? Where would we be without Logan Couture? I mean, even just talking about not even just in the playoffs right now, because I don't think we would be in the playoffs anymore if not for Logan Couture. But in the regular season, even without Logan on this team, are we anywhere near the team that we are? And I know that we talked about the depth on the team, and we could lose Logan and still be okay, or we could lose Hertl and still be okay. But I don't think we could not have that player, period, and still be okay. I think we could go, a few games, worth of injury time or something like that, and make our way out of it. But I mean, this guy is, you could tell why he's probably going to be the next captain. He is kind of the heartbeat of this team, both offensively and defensively.
Well, it's true. Like he's not going to win. He's probably not going to win a lot of awards. He's not going to win the Hart Trophy. He's not going to win any of the scoring races. So he's one of those players that you want to build your team around. So Couture and Marc-Eduard Vlasic both are probably not going to win much hardware, but they're very vital and important pieces to your team and who you'd want to build around, which is what they're kind of doing.
Yeah.
I mean, Vlasic and Couture are both signed long term.
Yeah.
So Doug Wilson knows this, and these are vital pieces to the organization. So he doesn't get his due nationally, I guess, but the more the Sharks win in terms of both regular season and playoffs, the more recognition they'll get, and people will realize how good they are.
Yeah.
Because other teams are going to be talking about how they got beat because Couture was just there and shut them down.
No, I think I can't remember the exact number, the dollar amount, but whatever we're paying Logan Couture for the next ever however many years, it's a bargain. And then we talked about Vlasic, and you remember in the beginning of the season when Vlasic wasn't playing so well, and everyone's going, "Oh God, we just signed him for 8 years. He's going to be with us till he's 40." It's like, "Oh my goodness, this is such a mistake." Blah blah blah. He missed 3 games in the playoffs, and we lost all 3 games. I mean, I don't care what his age looks like. If that's the type of impact that the guy has on the team, you need him, and it's a good thing that you've locked him up. So again, kudos to Doug Wilson building a phenomenal team.
Luke said, "Do you like how we use Burns as the one-timer trigger man at the end of the game? We only got to see this a few times during the season." Yes, we've been preaching this, I think, maybe not all season, but at least half the season, right? The last half of the season, plus I think the last game we talked about it, how they should do it. People said the power play looked pretty pathetic. Well, both teams.
Sure, but
Blues went 0 for 5. We went 0 for 2. We had 2 chances.
Yeah, I think the Blues had better sustained pressure once they got into the zone. They did have some trouble getting in.
They also gave up a goal.
Yeah, that's true.
So they're worse.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Than the Sharks.
That's pretty
in
bad.
that aspect. So they lost the special teams battle because of that.
Losing the battle, yes. But in terms of how did the power play look, I thought our power play looked anemic. I think we didn't even get a shot on one of the power plays.
We talked about this in the last game. They were moving their feet the last game. They're moving their skates. Tonight they were not. That's fair. They weren't moving, and this is what happens when they don't move. Yeah. There's no movement. There's no puck cycling around. The defense can easily pick off the passes, get the sticks in the lanes, and then they dump the puck. And that's what happened tonight.
Yeah.
So we need the Sharks. I mean, nobody was, other than Couture, nobody was really moving their skates and getting stuff going. Okay, maybe not just Couture, because I thought Donskoy looked pretty good.
I think there was a few guys that were doing it, but in terms of a unit effort, we always talk about Martin Jones and his numbers and how it's the 5-man unit in front of him. It's not just Martin Jones. Well, same thing goes for everything else that's going on in the ice, right? The power play. It's not just one guy moving his feet and, hey, we're going to score a goal now. No, they need to move and think and react with each other like as a unit. And when you're not doing that, it's going to be very difficult to put the puck in the back of the net, right? So, I don't know. I just thought that the Sharks, there was a lot of times where we tried to enter the zone and we couldn't. Zone entry is the very first thing you got to do on a power play. You got to get in the zone and set up. And when the Sharks aren't able to do that, or when any team's not able to do that, you're going to have a really hard time scoring a goal. So, it was just, to me, they weren't really entering the zone with consistency, with confidence. It was getting knocked out, and they had to cycle right back in, and it was chewing up all the time. So I wasn't very impressed with the power play. But back to your point about Burnsy being the trigger man, yes, absolutely. I didn't get to see it because, again, I was driving. But, yeah, absolutely. I love having Burns in the Ovechkin office. I love having his big booming shot there just ready to go, cocked and ready. And they did make a very interesting observation for the St. Louis power play. I don't know if you guys saw this on the broadcast, but they had Tarasenko on one side, and I was on the left side, and then they had whoever else it was, I forget, on the right-hand side. And they're on their strong sides, right? That means right-handed shots on the right-hand side, left-handed shots on the left-hand side. There's no one-timer available there. On the next power play, I believe it was, they actually had switched them, and Tarasenko was sitting there left-handed shot on the right-hand side, loaded up, ready to go, and he was sitting there just like with the stick up, like ready to shoot, and just waiting for the pass to come across. And it was funny because I thought back to the one Blues fan that we had talked to who offered up some points about things to look for with the St. Louis Blues power play, saying it was pass, find Tarasenko, and literally Tarasenko wasn't moving his feet; he was just standing there with his stick cocked, ready to go.
Let's talk about Tarasenko.
Yeah,
what has he done in his playoffs? I think it's
1 assist,
4 goals. Well, he had an assist tonight.
Yeah,
but I think he only has 4 goals total in the entire playoffs, and 3 of those are on the power play. So only one 5-on-5 goal. St. Louis they're relying on their secondary scoring because their top scoring is just not getting it done.
Yeah.
I mean, Tarasenko is an elite goal scorer who is not scoring. So he's not doing much. Not to say he's not doing much, but thankfully the Sharks are going to keep hopefully shutting him down. That's going to be a key to winning. Obviously not tonight, but sorry. I lost
you know what, though? Here's the
thing.
thing. Again, same thing with McKinnon. If you can limit McKinnon to one goal or 1 point or whatever it is every game,
right?
I'll take that, right?
Exactly.
I think the same thing with Tarasenko. If we can limit him or his line to
if you can
1 goal.
shut down that line.
Or shut down that line, yeah. I think I'll take that every single night. Other guys may step up and score goals, and maybe our lines have a bad night, and that's just happening to them. But I think if you look at what those lines are capable of, right, what the San Jose Sharks lines are capable of, I think we can outchance the St. Louis Blues, right? If it's secondary scoring against secondary scoring, I think we can win that battle.
Good comment from Donkey Make a Doorknob.
Oh, wow.
The cool thing is when there's a 7-game series, always we get to see more of you guys. Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
That's cute. Yeah, our wives are thrilled that there's might be another 7-game series. Same with our producer back there.
He wants sleep.
Yeah, he took a nap today before tonight's game. Thank you, John Bianchi, $4.99. This is starting to be my new post-game ritual, win or loss. Tough loss tonight, but I'm hoping the Sharks win games 3 and 4 and clinch at home.
That's a tall order.
Yeah, winning on the road in the NHL is not easy, and when you add the playoffs in the mixture, it's even harder. So we are very happy if they split, if they can get 1 win and 1 loss. 1 win and 1 loss, and then they come back and win Game 5, and then they can really put the pressure on the road in Game 6. And if they don't get it done, come back in Game 7, kind of what happened in Colorado, right?
As we've been saying, why play 16 when you can play 28?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Just give your whole fan base a heart attack. Go ahead.
Kane went to the box, but it looked like a bad call.
There were a few bad calls. There were a few, I would say, not say missed calls, but maybe non-calls, things that maybe during the regular season they would normally call, but they put their whistle away. They see it, but they just don't care. They're going to let it go. There was quite a few of those, I think, maybe tonight, and that one was Edmondson, I think, where, somebody ran Sorensen, I think, was skating next to him, and he, leans over to bump him. Edmondson leans over to bump him and then falls down the ice. It's like, dude, really? Leave that stuff on the soccer field, no offense. But seriously, come on, man. That's so
Sorensen?
Ridiculous.
You're getting out-muscled by Sorensen?
Yeah. Seriously, though.
That should be an automatic dive.
You know what? That's true. No, if you're the bigger dude and you get knocked down by the guy who's 110 pounds soaking wet, shouldn't he be falling over too?
Yeah.
Because he just skated right by you. That should be your first clue, right? I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. We didn't lose that game because of any missed calls. We lost that game because the Sharks simply did not outplay the St. Louis Blues tonight. So
there's some comments here about, do you think Haley is going to jump in the game? The comment specifically is from, where'd he go? Rob Iman. Is it time to switch Kane for Haley for a game?
Ooh, no, they won't do that. No. Kane's too high skill. I know he's not doing anything right now. He is definitely playing injured. I don't know what the problem is, and nobody will say what the problem is, or even if there is one. But there's something wrong with Evander Kane.
I'm still going to guess that it's his shoulder because he's always had shoulder issues. Okay. To me, that makes sense why he's not hitting hard. Yeah. He's still skating fine. His skating seems to be okay.
I would love to see him do the Burnsy butt check more often, right?
He might.
Just forget about having to use your shoulders, man. Yeah. Just throw your butt into him. Skate as hard as you can, and then skate backwards.
Yeah.
And just throw your butt right at him and slam.
But going back to Haley, do you think Haley should jump in?
Yeah, no.
And then who comes out?
So here's the thing: if you do put Haley in, either you think that Donskoy would need to come back out and nothing else in the lineup needs to change. Or, I mean, you're saying pull Kane out. I don't think they're going to pull Kane out. What I would think is there another guy, maybe Sorensen, that's not playing so well right now? But I think the thing is, I think the board looks at Sorensen and said, this guy is giving me his heart right now. Like, he's out there, he's trying, he's chugging, he's doing what he can. He's a little guy, he's scrappy, he's trying to get it done. I can't blame the guy for the effort that he's putting out there, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know that that's a guy that gets taken out for that. So you have to find somebody on the team that is not playing well to be able to put Haley in. You pull Evander Kane out because he's not playing well, that's a big swing in skill level that you're pulling out just to put Haley in. I would rather see, a fourth line guy or an extra get pulled out and then put Haley into the lineup. I think if you pull Kane out, you're just pulling way too much potential talent out. The one thing I do think, though, is that you could take Donskoy off of that fourth line and move him up into one of the other lines for anybody else that you're ready to take out. Again, let's just say it's Sorensen. I don't know why I'm picking on him tonight, but I am. Let's just say it is Sorensen. Okay, you pull him off that line. Maybe you move Nyquist Maybe you move Nyquist over with Jumbo and you move Donskoy back up, right? Then there's that hole in the fourth line. Then you could plug Haley in. Sure, then that makes sense. And your top nine's not suffering too much. Actually, it's not really suffering at all. But yeah, your top nine is basically intact, in other words. Then you could throw Haley in there, and yes, you could go out there and throw the body and everything else. And I like that. That's all well and good. Will they do that? I don't think so. I think everyone out there is giving them, the coaching staff, everything that they're asking for in terms of effort. I think that they're getting some chances, and they're just not going in. And for the guys that aren't getting their chances, I think they're going to give them the opportunity to kind of get back in the saddle and shine. One bad game isn't going to change all that. So that's my take on it.
I missed where I was going to say what I was going to say.
Aaron's got a super fan.
I know. I'm getting distracted by...
Aaron's got a super fan.
I don't even want to bring it up because it's not even for me. He keeps spelling my name wrong. He spells my name right in his name, and then he spells my name wrong in the comments, so it's not me. It's obviously someone else.
Okay.
Whatever.
No idea what anyone's talking about. And
so what I was going to say is what I would see is Sorensen maybe getting scratched.
Okay.
And then Donskoy getting bumped into that line and Haley in.
Okay.
That's what I would think. Realistically, what would happen. Sorensen can maybe use one game from the press box looking in and then going back, maybe taking Haley out or taking Donskoy out.
They actually did play Pavelski with Jumbo and LeBanc, if I'm remembering correctly.
Tonight?
So, no, not tonight. I'm saying throughout the season. At some point in the season, I believe they did that too. So.
Yeah, and someone else said reunite the Kane Hurdle Donskoy line.
Yeah, and then you would take Pavs off that line.
I mean, maybe we do see the blender because they just did not look good throughout the lineup other than Couture. So maybe we see those other than Couture's line getting mixed up a little bit. Who knows? I bet they're going to want to come with a little bit more speed and hard hitting. So I wouldn't be surprised if Haley is back in the lineup. That'd be nice to take away a little bit of that momentum in St. Louis, kind of. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know.
By the way, this little thing back here, 797 in terms of Twitter followers. We are 3 Twitter followers away from 800. Another milestone. So anyway, go ahead and if you had another comment there.
No, go ahead. You were going to say something?
Well, I'll go ahead and that wasn't really. I'll go ahead and plug the socials while you're looking for that.
Sure.
So if you did want to follow us on Twitter at The Fin Factor, same thing with Facebook at The Fin Factor, Instagram at Fin Factor because some kid has the Fin Factor for some reason. So we're working on that, I think. But those are the socials, so go ahead and follow us there. And if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button because you will get the notifications when we do go live. These live streams are so much fun. I enjoy them. I love taking the comments and the questions, kind of thinking on the fly with you guys. And a lot of times when we do this before our recorded shows, we sometimes get a good idea for a topic right before we shoot the show. So great to have these interactions with you guys. We really do love them. So if you hit that subscribe button and then make sure that you come and join the fun. Good?
Yep. All right, so one comment was a question from Super Chiaro. What was with the delay of game call on Dylan? I thought if it lands on the bench, it's not a penalty.
Yeah.
Not quite. So what the refs and the linesman, I think it was more of a linesman call, was saying was that the puck went over the glass before it got to the bench and then landed on the bench, which makes it a penalty because it goes over the glass. So if it went on the bench directly,
yeah,
and it's down low, like it would have gone around the glass kind of in a way and onto the bench, then it's not a penalty. I think though, if it goes up and over the bench, is that still a penalty? Like behind the glass?
So if you lift the puck over the bench and it goes over the glass behind the bench, that would be a penalty. If you lift the puck over the normal glass around the outside there, right? No bench, forget the bench. If you just lift the puck over that glass, that's also a penalty. If you were to lift the puck and it doesn't go over any other glass, it just goes into the bench, that's not a penalty, right? But the problem was that when he lifted it up and over, it cleared the glass, and then it went up and over and fell into the bench. So it actually did clear the glass, and it went outside of play. Like the puck was above spectators' heads, put it that way, and then it fell into the box, into the bench. So that was the problem, and that's why they called that play. So kind of a bummer, but I totally understand it.
Yeah. John Doe has a question. Do you think teams would go far enough to look into shows like this when they do overall scouting for a team? No.
No.
They're not watching us. No.
It would be flattering, but no, I don't think so. Actually, John Doe won the Sox.
He did.
And he lives very, very close. So maybe, John...
he asked to meet up.
Yeah, maybe we can just meet up with you sometime. I don't know when, but...
We'll figure it out.
After the show. Let me know.
Tonight?
I'll just drive over there real quick.
Oh, that's true.
No big deal. So Demos, let us know when's a good time to meet up.
Wiener Schnitzel?
Yeah.
AM,
you hungry?
No, Wiener Schnitzel.
Chili cheese fries, bud.
Oh, man. Now Jason's going to be upset because we're plugging him.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna start
not plugging anyone. You're telling me it sucks. You're not plugging anyone. If anything, it's degrading to them. So
Right.
whatever. Anyway.
What is it about Game 2s that we just can't win? This is from Green Sardonyx? I don't know. As long as we don't fall behind in the series, I'll stay calm, but we must win games 3 and 4. I'd love to avoid a third game 7. I don't say we must need to win games 3 and 4. I think we must, not even must, but we should win one of the games in 3 and 4.
We would like to win, right? Game 3 or 4. We would love to win. And that's a fan thing. That's what that is.
I'm not saying I don't want them to win.
Yeah.
I don't think it's realistic to expect them to win both.
But that's a fan thing, right? That, as fans, we want to feel more secure in our team, right? There's a lot of times when we're down 2-1, like Game 4. Is this a must-win for you? They always do that. When they ask the coaches, "Is this a must-win?" It's like, well, no. If we don't win this game, we're not out of the series. Look at the first round. We were down 3-1. Was it a must-win? Game 3 or Game 4? Was that a must-win? No. The must-wins were games 5, 6, and 7, and thankfully we won those. But that wasn't the must-win. Now, again, it feels uncomfortable going down 3-1, yes. But is it a must-win? No. Again, I think that the Sharks will split anyway. I'd love to see us win both of these games. I still felt like we were going to split in St. Louis. Maybe that's because, obviously I'm a Sharks fan. But I just felt like we're kind of the better team. We can edge them out. So, I don't know. It sucks losing that second one again. And just like we have, throughout the playoffs and all 3 series so far, we've lost the second game. But again, that seems to be the recipe for success. We win the first one, lose the second one, and then come out in 7. So
yep, I did misread it. He said games 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Must win. Is it game 3 or 4?
I would say that I would feel much more comfortable with where the Sharks are if we took games 3 or 4, one of those two. I would feel much more comfortable, yes. And I think that as long as the Sharks win one game in St. Louis, that's really all that matters. So if that's game 6 and we come out with game 5 and game 7, same thing as the Vegas series, hey, it's still 4 games to 3. If we win game 3 or game 4 and we trade back and forth and the home team wins, still 4-3. So one way or another, we just have to match what they've done. They stole one from us, we need to steal one back.
All right, let's talk about game 3. What are your, let's say, 3 keys to winning the game?
I have to have 3?
Or 5 or 10, however many you want. One?
One.
What's your one key to winning the game?
Well, I can't say face-offs because we've been killing them in face-offs.
Let's do this. The keys and also 2 players that you want to see step up. How about that?
I think I'll start with the players I'd like to see step up.
Yeah, that's a little easier to start.
And I would... See, the problem is I'd love to see Evander Kane step up, but I don't think he's capable of it right now. I think his body's a little too banged up to step up the way that I'd like to see him step up. Okay, there's that. And then I know he's doing a great job out there, but I feel like there's another gear for Erik Karlsson. I know he's been carrying the puck pretty well. He's been making nice sharp passes. He's been generating chances. But I think there's just another gear for him. And I think when everyone else on the team is clicking and playing well, he doesn't have to be the superstar from Ottawa, right? He just needs to be the guy that can set up the plays and bring the puck across the zone and do all the very simple things that, simple to us, but he does so effortlessly, and he just needs to do those things. When the rest of the team is not clicking, I would love to see Erik Karlsson go, okay, God mode. Turn it on, right? And have him be the guy that kind of says, okay, I'm going to raise
God
you guys up,
mode.
right?
Yeah.
But this is what I'm talking about. It's like the Sharks have the depth and the ability to have somebody or some line take a night off. But then everybody else comes in and kind of chips in and helps out. When there's too many guys that are taking a night off at the same time, then it doesn't work out, obviously. Now, does that bode well again for the next game? Hopefully, because if they weren't playing too well the last game, I don't see that as inability to put the puck in the net and just basically play poorly. Not that I'm saying EK65 is playing poorly. I don't think he is. I just know that there's another gear. There's another level. And when the rest of the team is not playing up to their standards and up to their ability, I would like to see him elevate his game to where we've all seen it in the highlight reels from years ago.
Okay. I'd like to see Kane step up. I think he's due, and I think he needs to step up and be a leader of one of the leaders of the team offensively. I'd like to see Hertl kind of get back into his scoring, because he kind of is coming in bunches and then disappearing a little bit. So his little power move where he comes wrapping around the net onto his forehand and swings it around hasn't quite worked, and they haven't capitalized on it yet. So I'm hoping that happens. I want to see those two guys take over Game 3. And think about tonight's game. The Sharks came back and tied it. It's 2-2. It was anybody's game. The Sharks were starting to get momentum. That third goal was pivotal for St. Louis. And then after that, they just pretty much shut down the Sharks. They stifled them. They just completely suffocated their offense, and they need to get through that hurdle and continue to because they could have gotten momentum with tying that game up again. That the crowd would have been going crazy tonight. Yeah. So I think the Sharks, they still could have won tonight. As bad as they played, they still could have won. And up until they got that fourth goal, and that was late in the game. So.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it all together, right? The score was 2-2, and it was 2-2 for quite a while. Then it goes at 3-2, and they come in there, and all they have to do is pick up one goal, right? I mean, and like you said, that late goal to make it 4-2, that happened way late in the game. It was just a couple minutes, whatever it was left. So they really did have the opportunity to take that game. They were in it the whole way, and I was looking at this going, okay, they're going to pull Jones. Then they're going to score. It's going to be 5-2, and everyone's going to go, man, we got spanked. And it's like, but you forget, it was 3-2 late in the game, and they really did have an opportunity right there. It was just that late goal was the fourth, and then if they potted an empty netter, it would have made it look just that much worse. But I think the Sharks were still in this game. Now, again, gosh, that bodes well for us, doesn't it? If the Sharks aren't playing that well, and we can still basically hang into the game the entire way through, I think maybe offensively we weren't all there tonight, but defensively I think we did a decent job. Decent. There were a couple breakdowns that were ugly, but for the most part, I mean, Tarasenko didn't really have a whole lot going on. They were shutting him down. So I don't know. I think that bodes well. I think if the Sharks are playing fairly poorly and it was basically we're down by a goal up until near the very end of the game, I mean, gosh, if we get our legs back underneath us and we start playing the way that we can, there's really no reason we can't take one or both in St. Louis.
I think it'd be nice to see a game like, what was it, Game 5 or 6 against Vegas, where Jones stole the game.
Yeah.
2-1. Double overtime, 58 saves, I believe.
Yeah.
Where the Sharks had no reason to win that game.
Yep.
I kind of want to see Games 3 or 4 end up being like that, where maybe they shouldn't have won the game and they end up somehow finding a way and doing it. Get one of those wins.
Your two picks are Kane and Jones then?
No, Kane and Hertl.
Okay.
I think Jones has been playing fine.
Okay.
I don't think he's been terrible. I think those
But you want him to steal a game.
Yes, I want them to the team as a whole to somehow steal a game.
Okay.
Not to just let Jones get peppered to death, but somehow find a way where, like today, they were being outplayed, and yet they somehow come back and they win. That's what I want to see.
One thing I did when you brought up Hertl again, and it just triggered my memory, with his wraparound, right, on the forehand, what I would love to see is have, when it's identified that this is what Hertl's going to do, have anyone hanging out on that left side post. Because a few times now when he wraps it, it either bounces off the pad and goes off to the corner boards, or just doesn't hit anything and it slides right through into the corner. And if there's someone standing right there, I mean, first of all eyes are going to be on Hertl, and all sticks are going to be over in that direction because he's about to get a shot off. If you can sneak someone down low, maybe even just drop a defenseman in from the point, right? Just have someone skate down there, and then the puck squirts out in that area. It should be an easy tap-in right there. So I would love to see that, because Hertl's done that a few times now where he wraps it around like that. Sometimes it goes on net, sometimes it goes in the net, sometimes it just kind of squirts out, but it usually squirts out in the same area. And if that's a high percentage chance that it's probably going to be in that spot, I would love to see someone standing there and banging in.
Donkey McDoorknob again. St. Louis struggles at home, so I think the Sharks can sweep them at home. I don't know about sweep. That's rough, and I was going to look up their thing. But Mr. Sandpaper had a good comment.
Okay.
If the Sharks take the Blues to Game 7 and win, and the Bruins manage to win win in 4 or 5, how badly would that fare for the Sharks facing a rested Boston team?
Yeah, so there's two ways of looking at that, right? Because one is, oh man, they're rested, they're all ready to go, and they're going to come out, full strength, hard. The other way of looking at it is they haven't played hockey in a week. Practicing is one thing, but when you kind of get out of the rhythm of playing those games, and it sounds kind of weird because when you play every other night, you would think, oh, they're going to get tired and they'd like to have a break. Well, yeah, I think some players would like to have a break, but usually it's like I just want like a day or two more so than what I would normally have, right? Just need to kind of be able to put my feet up for a couple days. That's it. I think if you sweep and then you have another team goes out and plays 7, the team that plays 7 is probably going to be more tired, but the team that only had to play 4 is probably a little bit out of it, right? You get used to that rhythm, and then all of a sudden you get thrown off your rhythm because you have to wait a week for the other guys to finish up. So kind of two ways of looking at it. I'm not saying one way is definitively better than the other. I'm just saying different players are going to react different ways to having extra time or more time than they really do need between games and not having any time at all, right? I don't know. What do you think?
It can go both ways. Unfortunately, if Boston wins, they're going to have home ice, so the Sharks are going to have to travel to Boston while they're still rested,
That's true.
right?
Yeah.
So those first games might be a little shaky, but then Boston's going to have to travel all the way across the country. Mm-hmm. Now, I think the Sharks hold an advantage because they're used to traveling all year round and having a brutal schedule, whereas the Bruins or Carolina don't travel nearly as much.
Take a bus.
Right. They take a bus. I mean, especially Boston. Boston takes a bus to a lot of their games. Carolina, not so much. They're not.
Do they really? I was just joking around.
Well, yeah, when they go and play other teams that aren't that far. I don't know. Is it really worth it to fly from Boston to L.A.? Or, I mean, Boston to New York?
I was going to say yes.
Sorry, not L.A. Boston to New York. It's not. No. I mean, the amount of time that you'd spend at the airport and doing all that travel would be just the same as taking a bus. So, I don't know. I mean, people in the comments will probably fact check me.
Yeah.
But I think Boston's going to be a tough series if they ended up playing them in the finals. But, man, NBC's going to love that narrative of having Joe Thornton. Joe Thornton has to go through Boston to win a cup. You can't write a better script than that, right? That's better than any Hollywood movie.
But see, and again, everyone's talking about Boston. Even I do it too, right? But, they're up 2-0 right now over Carolina, right? Boston has done what we're saying the home team should do. They've won their home games. Carolina's good at home too. There's really no reason that Carolina can't get out of their funk, play the way that they know that they can in front of the crowd that energizes them, right? And take both of their home games. So, yeah, they're down 2-0 right now, right? Or let's put it the other way around. Boston's up 2-0 on them. If I'm a Boston fan, do I feel like we're ahead in the series? Well, yeah, a little bit, obviously, because, we've got 2 wins, right? 2-0. It's great. At the same time, I'm expecting that Boston's going to win the home games. So, are they really ahead? Well, we have to wait and see. If Boston wins Game 3, yeah, they're ahead. They're definitely ahead.
Yeah.
If Boston doesn't win Game 3, I'm waiting to see what happens in Game 4 because, I mean, it could go either way. So then your 2-0 lead basically gets evaporated and becomes a 3-game series if Carolina does exactly what Boston did,
right.
and what's expected of them is win their home games, right? So again, Game 4, biggest game in any series, and it just you have to wait until then to really see what's going on in that series. So all the stuff going on with Boston here, let's not count Carolina out just yet.
Good comment by Anthony Leo. One series at a time. Quit assuming we're the Stanley Cup. The big task at hand with the Blues.
Oh yeah,
true. I was just reading the comments and giving my thoughts.
Yeah, maybe that comment is for the people making the comments, but we're just responding to comments. Yeah. So yeah, no, we're not saying we punched our ticket or anything like that. Trust me, it's believe me, it's 1-1 right now in this series. We know we've got probably at least 5 more games to go on this one. So we'll see.
Yep. Couture, there's Joe's one too many quoted Couture during the presser.
Yeah.
I don't think we've played up to our capability in a while now. We did just enough to beat the Avs. And it jumped on me. We haven't played our best hockey since the Vegas series. It's discouraging. It's frustrating. We're going to need everyone here if we want to beat these guys.
Yep. No, I mean, that's spot on. And again, I feel like the Sharks haven't played up to their potential, like he said. But gosh, I mean, they're going to. At some point here, they're going to. And when they do, I just don't see any other team matching up. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not scared of any other teams. I think, St. Louis Blues bother me for sure. I think Boston Bruins really do bother me. Carolina, maybe not so much. But, again, we're not going to go there yet. But I just think when the Sharks are playing their game and they're not having lulls in one line or the other, when all those lines are actually clicking and working, I just don't see anybody matching up. I really don't. So,
yeah. American Dad, this is from the Facebook page. Blow up the team. We're done. Just
after
ridiculous.
A loss.
That's why we don't really go on the Facebook page too much, because it's just ridiculous, the stuff that goes on.
People were asking us to post more on Facebook, and I'm like, that's kind of why. Nothing against those groups. Yeah, nothing against those groups, and it's all well and good. Fans react different ways. A lot of fans are highly negative or highly positive, or they have that. If we lose one game, we're the worst team ever. We win the next game, we're the best team ever. We're gonna win everything for the next 10 years straight. Right? It's one of those things where, again, this is why we do the show the way that we do during the regular season, which is kind of that macro view. We take a look at the week, right, and we see okay, how did they do over the course of that week? Because if you look at it in stretches, like they want you to in the media, they've won 7 games straight. They lost 3 games and they're terrible. Now they've won 5 games straight. It's like they give you the stats, and this is why I'm almost done with stats right now. They give you the stats and they feed it to you so that it tells the narrative that they want to sell you, right? That's really what it comes down to. And you get these things, and when you take a look at the bigger picture, it's not as bad, as dire as they want to make you believe it is, but it's also not as great sometimes as they want to make you believe that it is too. So I don't know, it's my kind of whole rant on media and stats there, but like
I knew that'd rally you up.
Was that?
I knew that would rally you up.
That wasn't even a question anybody had. You just said that, didn't you?
Yeah, totally. Real quick, let's take a break for a second, and then we're gonna pitch our store.
Yay!
Yeah, so we have items on sale. Well, I guess everything's on sale. Not items, but everything in our store. I just put the link up, and you can see it right here.
We have items, and we have a coupon code. That's what you mean to say.
Right. Yeah. TheFinFactor.com, we have shirts, we have hats, we have stickers, and everything is 10% off. So in your cart, you get 10% off of everything you want.
We've heard some good uses for stickers, including, but not limited to, putting them on your toaster. If your toaster gets really hot, I cannot vouch for the integrity of the sticker. So do that at your own risk. But so one guy, I can't remember who it was now, they sent a picture of their canteen water bottle with a Fin Factor sticker on it. And let me tell you, they must go rock climbing or something, because that sticker was torn up. And these are pretty good stickers. Yeah, no, it was beat.
Well, you put it in the washer and it's done.
I mean,
dishwasher.
I'm talking like... Yeah, beat. Yeah. So yeah, whoever that was is getting some use out of that canteen, for sure. But so then we have the black, teal, and gray T-shirts that are unisex. We've also got the deep V-cut women's black shirts, which are really nice as well. The hats, obviously, we've gotten lots of good feedback on the hats. The hats are phenomenal. The snapback, so you don't have to worry about the flex fit sizing and fitting your head and everything else. You just put it to the size that you are.
Unless you have a really big, enormous head and that doesn't fit.
Yeah, our buddy Pierce Holstrom is watching. It's not going to fit you, Pierce.
Sorry,
You're going to have an extension snap thingy.
You're going to have to buy 2 and then stitch them together.
It's actually a really good idea I just came up with right there. A snapback extension piece.
Oh, I'm sure they make them.
They probably do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway.
A little late to the game there.
Multi-million dollars gone. Oh, well, I'll just settle for YouTube. So, no, they're really nice hats. The stitching is really nice and thick, and it comes off of the hat really well, and they're just really great. So, if you are a fan of the show and you want to show your fandom, please go ahead, visit the store, support the show, and be sure that you take pictures because we love having the pictures. We want to make like a collage, I think, or something.
Yep.
So, it'd be cool.
So, going back to the St. Louis Blues and Sharks series.
You're not tired, are you?
Just a little. One thing that I love about the Sharks team is no matter how poor they play in one game, it does not usually carry over into the next game. So a lot of people are worried saying that they're done, whatever.
Guys.
Not a lot of people. Just relax.
Okay.
There are not a lot of Sharks fans saying that. There's some other fans in here.
Oh, okay.
So the Sharks, I think it goes to their veteran leadership, where they cut off like that last game, good or bad. The next game is going to be a different game, and you got there how you got there. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's how they won. That's how they came back against the series. That's how they continued to win, lost win.
Yeah.
With Colorado. So I'm not worried that the Sharks are done and they look tired. Maybe they did tonight. Whatever. I think the next game they're going to come out hard. I think Pete DeBoer has a really good pulse on this team and knows what his players need and what they don't need, and blending up the lines possibly, maybe even not. So I'm not too worried going into Game 3.
And this is exactly why we don't get so high on the highs and so low on the lows, right? After Game 1, we're up 1-0. I could have been jumping through the roof and going, yes, we're going to win the series now, right? I mean, it could have been going nuts. But realistically, you look at it and you go, okay, no, they did what they were supposed to do. They're supposed to win their home game. They're supposed to. So am I getting too crazy about it? No, right? Now they've lost a game. Okay, so it's 1-1. Am I freaking out? No, we've seen it twice already in these playoffs. They win Game 1, they lose Game 2. They came out of those series both, just fine. I'll do some air quotes there, just fine. Because, the first round was very, very close. And even against Colorado, it was a very close series. So am I panicking? No. Again, wait till Game 4. Let's do that, okay? Can we wait till Game 4 before we panic, guys? Can I get your promise on that one? Because if Game 3, the Sharks win that one, we're right back in the saddle again, right? We've stolen one. That's all that needs to happen. Game 3, if we don't win that one, I'm watching Game 4 with a little bit more, oomph, right? I'm a little more anxious about it. But at the same time, hey, if they happen to pull off any one of those two games and St. Louis does what they're supposed to do, right? They're supposed to win a home game. Well, then we're back to being an even series. And again, we've seen this already in the Colorado series. So I'm not worried about that. I don't think what you saw tonight is the Sharks at full strength going forward, right? This is not the team that's going to be out there all the time, every time for the rest of this series, for the rest of these playoffs. I think this is maybe kind of on the lower end of what we've seen, right? So if anything, I think you're going to see a bounce back in Game 3. I think you're going to see them play much better. Like Aaron just said, they're going to come out strong. They're going to come out ready to go. And, that's kind of been the story here, too, is that the team that loses tends to go, man, we got to regroup. We got to get ourselves back and ready to go. And then they come out and they come out storming. And we've seen that from both sides.
I said it after the last game. This game is going to be a lot tighter, which it was up until the end when they pulled away with a couple minutes left, right? So the Blues are going to be a lot tighter checking. They're going to clean up their sloppiness, which they didn't completely clean up. The Sharks still did an okay job. Or they had how many giveaways? They had 12 giveaways. The Sharks 15, so pretty even. So it wasn't like they were perfect. Joe's one too many quoted Pavelski here. We didn't get enough pucks deep. We kind of just got them over the blue line. Didn't really allow us to establish our forecheck on a continuous basis. It takes a little momentum away from us. They did a great job of clogging up the Sharks' forecheck. Bennington did really good getting the pucks when they tried to get them in deep. DeBoer said the Blues, got contributions from everybody like we did the first night, but we've been here before and we know how to handle this. And Andrew Price has a comment here saying, the Sharks have to solve Bennington. If the Blues defense stands strong, the Sharks have a big task at hand. Yes and no. They've already figured out Bennington. Bennington and Jones have given up the exact number of goals, 7, in 2 games. Sharks scored 5 on Bennington in Game 1. They had one empty netter, so they were won 6-3. So Jones gave up 3 in game 1. He gave up 4 tonight. That's 7. Binnington gave up 5 in game 1, and he gave up 2 tonight. That's 7.
Yep.
They're the exact same.
Yeah.
So the Sharks don't need to solve Binnington. They just need to get their work ethic back, and the goals will come. So when they get their skates moving and they get their bodies moving, they're going to be fine. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. And again, it comes down to, like you just said, I'm not worried about it. I'm really not. We'll wait and see how it goes. But, first of all, what good does it do to worry, right? Yes, as fans, we're emotionally charged, but, our worry isn't going to help our teams win or anything either. So, relax. But, yeah, I don't think that, just because we have a loss, I don't think that's the end of the world here. So, teams are going to win, and teams are going to lose, and what order you do that in maybe does or doesn't matter quite so much. It's whoever gets the 4 first. So, if you're telling me that the Sharks can't win in St. Louis, I'm sorry, I just don't believe that. So, we'll have to see how it goes. I think, again, after Game 4, we'll have a much better picture of what they're looking like right now in terms of their ability to come out of this series. But even then, it's one of those, never say never and never say die kind of things. Again, first round against Vegas, we were down 3-1, came out of that one okay. So, and then Colorado, same thing. Tied it up with them, 2-2. We went ahead, we lost, and after that loss in Game 6, is everyone going, oh, we're done. Maybe they were, but I was sure wasn't. I'm going, hey, I know the team that we got, and I know we're better than them. All we have to do is play better than them. If we do that in Game 7, game over, right? We'll move on to the next round.
I think the scary thing is the Sharks aren't playing to their potential, obviously. Not to say that the Blues are completely being perfect to play to their potential, but I feel like looking on paper, these two teams, they're pretty evenly matched.
Yes.
I still think the Sharks have a slight edge.
I do too.
Mainly because of the blue line.
Yeah.
And even a little bit because, to me, the fourth line is really playing well, I think, for the Sharks.
Yeah.
They just seem to be sustaining pressure and being able to it's not translating yet into goals, so maybe that's another key, is to get one goal from your fourth line, get those really depth scoring going. I think that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Are you guys from San Jose, from Charizard? Is that how you say it?
I think it's Charizard.
Charizard?
I could be wrong.
I don't know. It's a Pokemon thing, right? I don't really do that.
That was the guy that Joe was trying to...
Yeah.
I think it's Charizard.
Okay.
I might be wrong.
Yes, we are from San Jose.
Born and raised San Jose.
Yeah.
So actually, Aaron and I, if you don't know, Aaron and I went to kindergarten together in a school in San Jose. And I don't think you've ever even left the area either, right?
I went to Sonoma State.
Sonoma State, yeah. I've been in San Jose and Santa Clara essentially my entire life. I've lived in a tiny little bubble. So the only time I've gone out of here is when I'm on vacation. That's it. So yeah, no, pretty much, yeah. Born, raised, live here. San Jose is pretty much everything to me. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Not really a lot of comments left. So
all right. Except for that one.
Yeah.
What's that?
Nothing.
Oh.
Just the Pokemon name always stumbling. Yes. Sorry.
Was I right at least? I don't know if I'm right. I don't really care if I'm right.
Right.
Okay. Well, do you want to...
We didn't do a roll call tonight.
We could do a roll call if you'd like.
All right, sure. We'll do
Anybody want to do a roll call? Go ahead and let us know.
We'll end on a roll call. How about that?
Sure. Let us know where you're coming from, where you live, and who your team is, I guess, that you're rooting for, and how you heard about us. If you heard about us through YouTube or Reddit, or you're just clicking through and you saw, oh, this looks like a cool show to click on for YouTube or something like that.
Click, click.
Go for it. Yeah. Click, click. Also, if you are one of the winners of any of the 5 items that we had on the board there, if you haven't messaged us directly through YouTube, please do so with your YouTube username, right?
Or shoot us an email.
I think we wanted to go with...
How do you do a YouTube direct message?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think someone asked that.
Super producer Jason said that. I don't know. I've never had to do that before, so I don't know. Send an email.
thefinfactor@gmail.com.
That'll work too. Good.
That'll get us to it. All right, let's go through the roll call. Sure. Karina Sarkari, I go to school in San Jose. Cool. Mr. Sandpaper, Fin Factor makes my body tingle. Navy 47, San Jose, California. Sarah V, Sacramento, California. Knox, Morgan Hill, California. Donkey McDoorknob from Vancouver, British Columbia. Found you on YouTube recommendations.
Nice.
Charizard.
Charizard.
That was the
close.
pronunciation. Yeah, I think you had it. Super Crab G2K Santa Clara.
Who are you? No, who is that?
Andrew Price looked up Blues Sharks. Y'all popped up. Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome. I think you're a Blues fan, if you're right, Andrew Price. Base Runner PDX, Portland, Oregon.
Wow.
Ryman, Santa Teresa, San Jose. Found your first video. Keep it up. Also like your #1 fan, Aaron. Likes. I think like that Aaron guy that was in there. You didn't see it.
Wait, he is like?
No, he's liking the #1. Forget it.
Okay.
Ben and Gunsry, Thailand, and also went to San Jose State. Go Spartans.
Okay.
Hey, Anthony Leal, Turlock, California. Stumbled across it during the Vegas series. Love the cast. Love the cast. Thanks.
Thank you.
Nathaniel Arias, Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
Avs Bruins fan. Boo. Friday on the night of Game 7 of the Vegas series. 4 goals. John Doe, Brandon and Pearl. Meet at Lucky on Capitol and Vista Park for the Sox?
Sure. Vista Park and Capitol.
Google it.
Okay, I'll Google it.
Navy 47, San Jose, California. Go Sharks. Saw you guys day 1. You guys popped up my feed and clicked. Shark City Warrior. Garlic Capital of the World. That is Gilroy. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
It jumped.
Wait, of the world?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Sonic Tonic, Monterey, California. Mr. Yes 23, Redwood City. Met you at the Sharks practice. That's gotta be you.
Wait, what is it?
Mr. Yesy 23, Redwood City.
Redwood City. I apologize. I don't remember that person.
Charizard, is that right? Did I
Okay.
say it right? I don't remember.
Charizard.
I'm from San Jose. Grew up in 2009. I typed in Sharks live on YouTube. Death Scythe 21.
That's Scythe.
Just Death Scythe.
Don't even read it.
Jengar is the best Pokemon. Gengar, whatever.
Oh, come on, guys.
Jason Hillier, San Ramon, California. No tingles for me tonight.
Aww.
Smoke Loke 73, Melbourne, Australia. Good eye, mate.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Here we go.
Now that's a knife.
You call that a knife? I can't even say this. Uridzitsis 84, Don, Germany here. Don, Germany, Donn. I don't know how you pronounce that. Welcome. Guten Tag. Guten Morgen. It's early morning there now.
Willkommen?
Willkommen?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Joe is one too many in a toaster with a Fear the Fin sticker on it.
Wrong show.
Yeah, wrong show. Ryan Hardy, Roanoke, Virginia, was recommended your EK65 trade video by YouTube and have watched ever since. That was a big one. Noah Claxton, love this channel. Joe's one too many. I meant Fin Factor, not Fear the Fin. Steel and Steam Productions, Westchester, Pennsylvania.
That's like when you're talking to your girlfriend, you call her the wrong name. That's what that is right there.
Charizard, Shark Attack is my brother, and we love your show. We both subscribed.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you.
Very cool.
If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It'll help us jump up some more. Sehr gut, mein Schatz. Thank you.
By the way, 800 Twitter followers.
Nice.
Insane. So cool. Thank you, guys.
Shark Attack. I got an ad, but I'm in here. I don't know what that means, but okay. Jason Hill here. You guys should hire a translator. Joe's not here tonight. He's usually the translator.
No, we should hire a translator. Joe was butchering these names worse than anybody else was.
Right.
Oh, is that?
You know how to say razor blades in Australia. Rise up lights. You now know how to say razor blades in Australia. Rise up lights. Razor blades.
Okay.
Rise up lights.
No, I'm cool. You go ahead and do the next comment. Jeez.
Stevenson Yee, San Francisco, California. The Fin Factor makes my body tingle.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Arias. Thank you for the $1.99. Sharks in 6 still. 3-1 Sharks final game 3. That's a good one. Ooh,
wow.
Give us what your prediction is for game 3.
Sure, why not?
Joe's one too many. Too many fins to follow.
You don't only have one fin to follow. Why waste your time?
I don't know. Haha, Joe couldn't say my name.
Is that the Charizard guy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right, I think that's it for roll call.
We're good?
So I think we're good.
Okay.
I think we'll end on that note. Go ahead.
So once again, on the socials, I'll go ahead and plug them. at the Fin Factor for Facebook and Twitter. At Fin Factor for Instagram, and we post things up there all the time. So there's that. Again, hit the subscribe button. That way you get the notifications, know when we have a new episode coming out or when we go live. When we kind of go dark for a little bit here after the season's done and over with, you'll want to have that available to you so that you get the notification when we start our second season back up again. So that way you know. Anything other than that you wanted to push one more time?
We got our merchandise. Yeah. You can go to thefinfactor.com and use the code playoff mode for 10% off of your entire order. And I'm trying to think what else. You got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit.
Yeah, join us on the Reddit there. Yeah, that'd be good too. So.
Yeah.
Good?
I think we're good.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. All your comments and your questions. Again, this is the part of the show that I love the most. Get to interact with you guys. It's been a whole heck of a lot of fun. So, again, thank you guys for tuning in. So, for super producer Jason, Super Key Grip Joe is not here tonight, so forget him. I am Paul.
And I'm Aaron.
And we will see you guys
on Wednesday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.